Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Abrams, Soviet Global Command 5.3. Buckle up, fellas. This one's going to be a wild ride. Okay, first order of business is tech. PGM, Chemical, Advanced Manufacturing, Advanced Airborne. Yes, Advanced Manufacturing, no everything else. So Advanced Manufacturing is now completed for the Soviets. That one doesn't come up a whole bunch, so let's see what it does. Stage 4 complete. All multi-stage facilities have first stage cost eliminated and take one less turn to complete. Well, isn't that right handy? All right, now we don't have any more global operations because, better talk about that first. It wasn't stated on camera, but it would have been. Again, I've mentioned before, this is one of these things about a solo game. If there's a little, slip of the mind, it can be easily fixed. When NATO declared war on the Soviets on their last turn, the Soviets replied with a declaration of war on U.S. Global Command at the same time. So, that meant that on the NATO turn, PRF signed a military pact with Soviet Global. So you see the results of that here in Southern Africa. It also means, I haven't switched them out as I will after what happens. South Africa. Well, no, it doesn't mean that. Never mind. That's why I didn't do it. But PRF has signed a military pact with the Soviets. So, there's that. All right, now we go to military aid and purchase. Okay, Warsaw Pact has asked for 2 airborne for 8 as their military aid. Now the Soviets are going to send Cuba a fighter for 5. That's -1 for the Red Skies discount and -2 for arms sales. They're also going to send a fighter to Iraq. They have a cooperation treaty with them. Since they're at war with a major, they can send 1 unit of military aid to any minor faction that they have a treaty with. Now, Iraq, they're going to use the military skies discount of 1, and they have an arms sales discount in Iraq of 3. So that's going to be a half-price fighter costing 4. And then for themselves, since they're now at war, they don't get the event discount anymore. They're going to go ahead and buy 2 more SSNs at full price, so that's 12. And they're going to spend the remaining 8 on 2 MBTs. Okay, now we go to combat. Now we're going to combat. Okay, we're going to start off here in the Mid-Atlantic. This SSN in A39 goes into A41 and auto kills this American tanker. This SSN in A39 goes into A42 and auto kills this NATO tanker. So let me move these things over here to the dashboards. We got another auto. Well, no, that's not an auto kill. So we'll just keep since we're over here, we'll just keep setting things up. Okay, these two SSNs and A-26 come over to A-25. They're each shooting 2 anti-ship missiles into A-24. These two SSNs from A3, 1, 2, 3, down here to A-25. They're also each shooting 2 anti-ship missiles into A-24. So that's a total of 8. The Soviets have 9 in stock. So this SSN, 1, 2, 3 up here, it's going to shoot the 9th anti-ship missile into A-24. And as you can see here, I made sure I wouldn't forget, we are going to use spy satellite support for this missile attack to get full naval surface target select. Okay, next bit of business. We have 3 Soviet airborne and a Soviet fighter here in Cuba. We also have a major Allied air base, which is going to allow the Soviets to do 3 airborne operations from Cuba. So these 3 airborne are going to drop into French Guiana, and they're going to be supported by this fighter. So the fighter has to go 1, 2, 3, has plenty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. That doesn't work. The fighter doesn't have enough legs to get back to a landing zone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he comes up short. So the fighter can't go. He has to stay on Cuba. So they're just going to go in with the 3 airborne. They're going to give that a shot. Okay, then we come over here. Oh, there is another auto kill. I forgot. The SSN from I-4 comes down here 1, 2, and auto kills the U.S. tanker in I-1. That was the other auto kill. Now action here in Africa. Okay. These 2 light infantry from Tanzania are attacking Mozambique. The same from Zambia, coming across this border here. The SAM comes along, the SPAG comes along, 2 light infantry come along, field artillery shooting chemical, and the fighter comes along in support. That's the action in Mozambique. This airborne sitting here in Angola takes off from the minor air base there. 1, 2, 3 up here for the unopposed cap. Oh no, that's not unopposed. No, sorry. There will be there'll be a paramilitary defending there. Yeah, get a paramilitary into Uganda defending there. Okay, then guys up. From Angola, we have 4 light infantry and airborne just coming across the border as regular light infantry. 2 artillery shooting chemical and 2 SPAGs attacking Zaire. And then now is where the change will happen. Soviet Global declares war on South Africa, which causes it to sign a military pact with US Global. That's going to be done by 2 MBTs, an attack chopper, 2 SAMs, 4 fighters, and an attack bomber into southwestern Africa. And I think that's it for combat. I believe it is. Let's make sure. No, that's not quite it for combat. No, it is not. I just spotted another one I want to do. The SSN that's on that card right there in M11. Oh no, they don't have any anti-ship missiles left. Never mind, they shot all of them. So, scratch that. That's it for combat. Yep, that's it for combat. Okay. So, first step, well, I guess we'll just start over here. We'll start over here and just work our way around the map. So we're going to start with the anti-ship missile attack into A24. So let's get the auxiliary dice tray over here. You can see it. You can kind of sort of see it. It's one of the reasons I don't like to use the auxiliary dice tray. It's hard to we'll just do it like that. Because there's the task force card. I can just go ahead and put him over here with the SSBNs because they, at sea, they can't be hit by anti-ship missiles. There we go. Okay. Now we're ready. So the first thing we have is fleets always have missile defense capability. It is not dependent on AMD technology. So we have 2 cruisers here and 2 frigates. So that's 4 and an ASF. So that's 5 missile defense dice for the fleet. This one's cocked, we're going to do a reroll. The others all missed. Okay, that one missed too, had to have 4s. So all 9 of the, that was 5, 4 more. All 9 of the anti-ship missiles are coming in. One, two, three, four, 5. 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 hits. All right, how do we want to allocate target selection? Well, I think we are going to put two each on these two cruisers, and then we are going to kill the destroyer with the 5th hit. That's how we're going to do that. So, you can see the dice tray there. I'm going to go refresh my memory about phalanx for cruisers. Phalanx at 6, that's what I thought. Okay, so cruiser number 1 gets 2 phalanx rolls. There is a 6, but the other one missed. And it only takes 1 hit to kill a cruiser. So 1 cruiser is sunk. Now the second cruiser does its phalanx roll. And it got snake eyes, a pair of 1s. So it shot both missiles down and survives. Okay. So the Americans lost a cruiser and a destroyer. All right, now we come down here and we've got 3 airborne attacking French Guiana, defended by a light infantry and a paramilitary. Okay, so there's no terrain, so 3 airborne attack at 3. No hits. Paramilitary, nothing. Light infantry, nothing. 3 airborne, nothing. Boy, this might take a while. Paramilitary, nothing. Light infantry, nothing. 3 airborne. Okay, there is 1 hit by the attacking airborne. Paramilitary. Miss. Almost, but a miss. Light infantry. Also a miss. Paramilitary is dead. 3 airborne. Miss. Light infantry. Miss. 3 airborne. There is a hit with a 3. Light infantry defends for a hit with a 3. Okay, so this guy comes off. One of these guys is dead. The space launch facility is now out of action. The Soviets have captured French Guiana. Grab a roundel. Smack that on there. Soviets go up 1 to 39. I forgot to mention that I moved the Soviets up 1 for Angola when PRF aligned. So the Soviets up 1 to 39, NATO down 1 to 50. Okay, now we'll come over here and let's do Uganda first. So we have an airborne, there's no terrain, an airborne, again, airborne assault. So he's at a 3. We got a hit with a 1. Now the paramilitary defends and missed with a 7. So Uganda has fallen by the wayside and is now under the hammer and sickle. Okay, next we will do Mozambique. We have first strike by an artillery shooting chemical. Missed with 4s. Okay, so now the SAM and the SPAG are in the retirement box. They're doesn't look like the river penalty. No, the river's not up on the border coming from Zambia. No, if the attack was coming from Zimbabwe or South Africa, it would, but not from Zambia, it doesn't look like. So we've got 2 light infantry at 2. There is 1 hit. And now we have a fighter at 6. There is the 2nd hit that is required. Okay, so white is paramilitary, red is light infantry. Okay, 1 hit by the paramilitary in defense. But it's not going to be enough to hold it. So these guys are going to take that off. Get a Soviet roundel on here. And 1 light infantry will be the Soviet casualty. So those guys in there, these guys come in, he comes in, he comes in, and he's here waiting to non-combat. Okay, it's not worth anything. Okay, next we will do Zaire. I don't think we need to battle board that one. We're just going to have first strike, attack and defense by artillery. The Soviet artillery will be shooting chemical. And there's no air units for the attackers, so the defending SPAG will be in the retirement box. Okay, so we've got 2 field artillery shooting chemical. And there is 1 first strike hit. Now we have the defending field artillery misses with a 5. So the first strike hit is going to be taken on the field artillery that has already fired. All right, now we've got I hear the assistant chief of staff in here doing something. I'm trying to figure out, make sure she's not getting into something she's not supposed to be. And she hears me talking about her, so now she's gone quiet. I can't see where she is. Just 1 second here. I've got to investigate this. As I suspected. Get. Into something she doesn't belong in. All right, order has been restored. Okay, so now we have 5 light infantry at 2, since jungle only affects vehicle class. Yeah, we'll do the spags in a minute. Okay, there are 2 hits. 2 general hits. And now we have 2 Soviet spags shooting at that early gen fighter. And they missed. Okay, defending, we have an early gen fighter at 3. That's a miss. And 2 light infantry. 2 light infantry got 2 hits. Okay, the attackers got 2 hits. So they're going to take 1 hit on the early gen fighter and then 1 light infantry. As I said, that spag is in the retirement box. 2 hits have to be taken by the attacker. And they're going to take those 2 hits on the spags. Okay, now there's 1 light infantry left defending, and the Soviet field artillery are in the retirement box, since HQ class units automatically retire after the first round. So we've got 4 light infantry attacking. There is the 1 hit that was needed. That's enough to get the job done. Light infantry defends for a miss. Okay, so these guys come off. Take that off there. Soviet roundel. And Zaire has been captured for the greater glory of the Soviet Union. Okay, now we got the fight in southwestern Africa. Let's see, the only first strike we have is the defending spag and field artillery. The attacking SAMs are in the retirement box. Okay, so defending spag gets 3 shots. Three misses. Field artillery takes its shot. That is a first strike hit. So, the SAMs are in the retirement box, can't be taken. All right, they're going to have to take an MBT. Okay, so now we have, there's no terrain here. So we've got an MBT at 4. There is a hit, and that is a land target select hit. So 1 green. Now we have an attack chopper. There is a hit that is also a land target select hit. There's 2 of those. Now we got 4 fighters. Two more hits, one of which is a land target select. So that's 3 of those and 1 general hit. And that's plenty. We're going to go ahead and roll the attack bomber. That is 5 hits total, and they have 3 defending units, so plenty of overkill. And the Spag and the field artillery have already shot, so 1 mech misses with a 7. Southwestern Africa falls as well. Soviet Roundel. We've got an MBT. Sam's and a tech chopper in there, and these guys are just, I'm just going to go ahead and leave them guys there because that's where they're going to non-combat to anyway. We try to keep things simple when we can. All right, I believe that is it for combat. All that rolling, all that fighting, and the Soviets only went up 1 IPP in base income, but they're going to get bonus for the African zones they hold now. Okay, non-combat. This fighter goes back to, let's see, he came out of Zambia, so he went 1. He can go 2. We'll just land him back in Zambia for now, that's fine. All right. Nothing over that way. Nothing over, oh yeah. This SSN in A35 non-combat's up to A25 to join his buddies. Uh-oh, I forgot a combat move. I'm doing this as a combat move because combat is going to result. No, wait, I decided I'm not going to do that. Never mind, changed my mind and forgot about it. The Marine, I don't think you can see. No, you can't see. Now you can see. The Marine in Leningrad moves up to Murmansk. Actually, there is another combat. There actually is. These 2 SSNs from A9 come over here to A8 and are attacking this NATO diesel boat. So we'll just go right here to the auxiliary tray. Two SSNs attack. There is a hit with a 4. The diesel boat defends and misses with a 7. So the NATO diesel boat is sunk. And the path out of the Barents Sea is now clear. All right, we do have another non-combat move. Yes, I have more kills to put over there in the kill pile. There are 2 airborne in Moscow. So they are going to airlift from the major airbase all the way down here to, you guessed it, Cuba. There you are, lads. Enjoy some fun in the sun down there in Cuba. All right, I think that's it for non-combat. Yes, I believe it is. So now we are placing units. So we have, spin this around here, since I'm right here. We have 2 MBTs being built at the minor army base in Angola. 2 SSNs come up here to the major shipyard in Murmansk. That's it for that. So now we deliver aid. So we've got a fighter for Iraq. We're delivering to Baghdad. And then we have a fighter for Cuba. Get him right in here. And 2 airborne to go to Warsaw Pact. And we're delivering them to and deliver them to Romania. Okay, that's all that. Now, since we're at war, we have to roll for military aid to FEC. A 2 got off cheap. So that's going to cost him 3. The income is now base income at 39, you see there. Minus 3 is 36. Now let's look at the adjustments. Okay, possession of a South American land zone is +1. And it looks like that's it. So it's going to be 37. Not quite what we thought. During the turn I misspoke. I confused Soviet bonus with Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact gets extra money for African land zones. The Soviets don't. So 37 goes in there. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major air bases. So that is +5 cruise missiles. And then there are 4 major shipyards. So there's their anti-ship missiles. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.